What's going on, guys? Selling 101. We're talking about what you will be signing when you want to move forward with selling your house. We talked about why you're selling. We're going to talk about going over price in another video. We hired the photographer, right? And we'll do a separate video on the photographer getting your house ready and staging. But you're like, Karen, I want to sell my house. Let's do it. Paperwork time, right? A couple people reached out. Can you go over the paperwork? So we're going to go over each one of these, explaining what you would be signing. And this one, how we are different with this. All right, so first thing to remember is this. When you are hiring an agent, you're actually hiring the brokerage, right? So even though I'm the Karen Group, me, Bill, and Marissa, we hang our license at Keller Williams Impact. So you are actually hiring us, but you're actually hiring our brokerage, right? So a lot of the paperwork will have that name on it. So we'll go over all this right now with you to explain what you're signing. We'll start at the bottom. The bottom one is like the extras, right? The bottom is like if your house is built prior to a certain date, you have a lead-based paint. If you're in a 55 and older community, you'll see separate addendums that come in that aren't like the set pieces, right? So if you have a different like sinkhole, if you have anything where it was maybe some people might use a mold or maybe a community that had mold, there'll be extra addendums stating, this does not have lead-based paint, or I'm not aware of it. I live in a 55 and older, whatever the case may be. Those are the extras. There's also different paperwork that comes with different brokerages. They all have like their in-house or internal paperwork that might say you need to sign this. We work with this title company, but we don't get paid from this title company, or XYZ. So the bottom two are just like extra paperworks that if you see them, you have questions, that's probably what it is. It probably is just something that the broker needs you to sign, that's an in-house, or the extras like the lead-based paint, a 55 and older, if you live in a 55 and older or whatnot, okay? So these kind of four are my main ones. A lot of people might not use this one, but these are like my four main ones. The first one is the CDD Addendum. The CDD Addendum is if you live in a CDD community, I need to take a CDD Addendum, just basically telling the buyers out there, yes, this is the tax they have, but there's an extra tax, and this is how much portion of it is, which is the CDD, right? And then for everyone out there saying, what's a CDD? I'll do a separate video on a CDD. So when you understand, and it's really actually for sellers as well, because when you're selling a property, and there's multiple properties on the market, and you're in a CDD community, right? You might have less buyers in a buyer's market attracted to your property than maybe someone who doesn't live in a CDD. So we'll go over that. So a CDD addendum is just stating the CDD amount, where it's going to, so they understand to separate from the taxes. The HOA is the same thing. It's an HOA addendum, right? Stating this is how much the HOA is. Sometimes there might be multiple HOAs. I have a yearly HOA. I also have a quarterly HOA. Whatever the case may be, how much the HOA is, whether it's yearly, monthly, quarterly, who the HOA management company is, what their phone numbers, and here's the thing. It's very important, the seller and the agent, to understand, one, exactly how much it is, and two, what does the HOA do for that community? And that's really extremely important, because the last thing you want to do is not understand what the HOA does. Somebody comes in to buy your property, they do their due diligence, and they end up backing out. So, for instance, is there any restrictions on doors? Are there any restrictions on fences? Are there any restrictions at all? What is the governing? Get all that stuff. Get the governing docs. Get everything. Because the last thing you want is someone making an offer. You pull your house off the market, and then they don't want it anymore because they did their due diligence or their agent did their due diligence. You got to put the house back on the market. All the stuff that we have, except for the top one, and I'll go over that, is attached to your MLS. So when people are looking at the property, they can pull these disclosures and they can look at them. So make everyone's life easier. I'm going to put the CDD up there. I'm going to put the HOA up there. I'm going to put the governing docs, condo docs, whatever the case may be, so everyone knows exactly what they're getting themselves into. The property disclosure is for you, a property/seller's disclosure, for you to let the buyer know everything about the property that you know, right? And this is where you can't lie. You got to tell the truth. Number one, Was there an insurance claim on this house? I'm literally going through it right now where the seller's disclosure, property disclosure, said no. And then when my client's trying to get insurance on this property weeks down the road, they're like, no, there was an insurance claim. Of course, water, two of all things. Why didn't your client say anything? Oh, we didn't know. You did? What do you mean? You're the one who did the claim. You know what I mean? This can get you into a lot of trouble. I don't want to scare anybody, but this is the easiest, easiest saying. Don't lie. If you know anything, just tell people. In a seller's market, you can be as honest as you want and people aren't going to care. The problem where people get scared of, in a buyer's market, you 100% always have to be honest, but people get scared of, oh, if I say this, and it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you don't need someone coming after you because you lied to somebody. You tell them everything. But on the positive, right, because there's a box at the end of the property disclosure, last page, put everything you've done to the property. I've done this. New water heater, new electric panel, new this, new that. So then it's the property disclosures are yes, no, maybes, right? And I don't want to bore you by going over every single paper. I'm just kind of going over it in the video. But the property disclosures, has there been a new roof? Has there anything? Yes, no, maybe, or I don't know. Yes, no, I don't know. Yes, I don't know. And then the last page is a box, and just fill it out. I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Or, hey, you might see a stain on the roof. Oh, that stain was from an existing leak that we fixed, and here's all the receipts I have. It'll make your life 1,000 times easier. Always disclose stuff, especially that if you know there's an old stain from a leak, disclose it, because people might look up and go, oh yeah, they told us about that. They have the receipts. We're good to go. Makes it so much easier. The most important one is the listing contract, right? You're hiring us, the brokerage, to help you sell the property. And this is where I kind of feel different than everybody else. Now, am I right or wrong? Yeah, I think I'm right 100% on this one. The reason I feel a lot of people work with us is because we want to make sure that you're 100% comfortable with us. So when we take a listing, we say, okay, we come up with a price. We talk about how the commissions, all that stuff, right? But we make sure that in the listing paperwork that there is no penalty for you to cancel with us. There is no payback. You don't have to pay me back anything. If I spent money on the photos, the carpets, the video, the marketing, it doesn't matter. There's no cancellation fee. There's no penalty, right? There's no money if you hold escrow, which is rare anyway. I just want you to feel comfortable with me. So when people say, oh, there's a minimum of 6 months, or no, there's not. No, there's not. If you want to do 30 days with me, that's totally fine. I'll do 30 days with you. I don't care. I'll do 10 days with you. It doesn't matter. Because my whole philosophy is you're hiring me to help you, and I want to build a relationship with you. That's it. Nothing less, nothing more. I want to build a relationship where you look back and say, you know what? He did the right thing by me. And let me tell you something. Everyone out there will be like, you have to protect yourself. If you give a person the right to walk away, they're going to take advantage of it. For every one person that might take advantage of it, there's 10 people that hired you because they say, wow, thanks for doing the right thing for me. And you know what? I've had at least 3 or 4 people say, I want to cancel. I don't want to sell anymore. I said, no problem. They literally called me back 6 months later and said, I can't believe you really kept your word. I really appreciate it. We're putting it back on the market with you. And it still comes back because you're making sure that people are comfortable. So this is giving you the right to sell the house. It's all the terms, how many months you're taking the listing for, how much you're getting paid, how you're displaying the property, lockbox, the whole 9. It is all written within the contract. It's only like 4 pages long, right? The commission. But for me, the bonus part to it is to say, hey, listen, don't feel obligated. If you get scared, if you change your mind, if something happens, as long as we're not in contract with the buyer, right? Don't worry about it. You want to walk away, walk away. You want the pictures to keep them? No problem. I want everyone to be comfortable. And that's what I always go over with everyone. And this is why a lot of people call me and say, hey, if I can get a certain amount of money, I'll try. Why? It's no risk. 0 risk, right? It's a 0 risk. So you're signing a contract, which is a listing contract, to allow us to put your property on MLS between me, you, and the brokerage. The property disclosure, the HOA Addendum, and the CDD Addendum. HOA is talking about the HOA, CDD is talking about the CDD. And then your bonuses, which is whatever the broker has in-house paperwork, and the extras, lead-based paint, lead, and 55 and older and whatnot extras. So any questions you have on these, let me know. If you want me to go over them, I can do like a Zoom split screen or whatever the case may be. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to be doing this piece by piece. The next video is now it's photo time. We're going to do some photos, and then we're going to go over how you can stage your house and change it. We'll go over an open house. We'll go over how people are looking at homes, negotiating, the whole nine. Title. So any questions you have, let me know. Thank you guys so much for everything. Talk to you soon.